Hello guys, it's me once again, Bonyeni Bebe. Today, the 2nd of July 2020, I'm going to show you how to practically build a parade so that it's quick, so that you guys understand it in less than 10 minutes as I promised. So here we are practically building a raid. It's just a step-by-step advice for anyone interested, no matter what industry you are. This is just the principle behind pricing, right? So just the structure of my video, you see there are going to be essentials and housekeeping issues. You've got your material allowable cost, your labor allowable cost, your plant allowable cost, your fuel allowable cost, transport allowable cost, markup. And then I'm going to give you a basic block paving example, and then the steps at the end in a nutshell as a summary. Obviously, you need to watch my previous video for some boarding theory, but the theory is very, very essential. Pricing is an art and not an exact science. We will always get different results. It doesn't matter how much experience you've got in pricing. And the nice thing to know about this is that the funny thing is at times you do tendering and then you realize, oh, okay, no, this time I came number 2, and then even if you follow the same pricing, the next time you find yourself being number 10 or 20 or whatever. It was a competitive price, especially in my example where it was, I think it was around in the 250 million rand project in 2015 that was being done somewhere in Sentina. So pricing is an art. Anyone, you can do it if you want, but I would advise you to employ a professional QS to do it for you. Okay, my steps are the basics, and after this video you'll definitely know how. I'm talking about the basics. You'll know how. Basics is one thing and then experience is another. You'll be able at least to know how to quote a client, whether you're a site agent in the office on site, and then engineer comes to you requesting for a new rate, or if you're an engineer and you want to scrutinize someone's rate, you still break it down like the way I'll take it through to you. So as long as you have not successfully sold yourself to a client, you won't be able to complete a transaction, guys. It's very important because I got a couple of comments from my YouTube channel that a guy was asking me that, do I guarantee that he gets a job? I cannot sell you. You need to sell yourself. There's so many things that determine whether you get a job or not, and that's very important. So you need to do your best. These are just the basics. Just for you to understand how a QS does his pricing and how they do that. And there are various softwares that you can use and everything, but they still use the same principle. So that's why I say that this video is not only for like construction. If ever you want to code something, if you're selling clothes or anything, you still capture all your costs, and then you make sure that whoever comes into your store, if they like your designer clothes or whatever the name may be, like an Adidas or Nike or whatever, they also do the same when they do their pricing or quoting their shoes and stuff. So yeah, a quick recap. Selling rate is always equal to materials, plant, labor, fuel, transport, plus markup and others. As you will see, you need to watch my previous video. It breaks down everything so that you understand, and then you break your activity into manageable costs. Like those are the costs that you break it into: materials, plant, labor, fuel, transport, and markup, plus others, which you'll learn. So it's just another way. And remember, it is an art. So you basically need to do what makes you smile. This business concept, obviously, it's definitely applicable in any industry. Just capture all your costs and then categorize them as materials, plant, and labor, and then afterwards you allow them in your rate, and then you just add your markup. That's the basis of everything. So your material allowable, this you get it from the engineer or the standard specification, but normally it's in your BOQ under description. So pay attention to the units quantity and have a beautiful relationship with your supplier so that they give you the best rate. Then we go to the labor allowable. These are usually controversial and everything, but go to SAFSEC. Remember to account for all your labor, your supervisors, your gang leaders and everything in the team. Pay your supervisors their skilled labor rate, gang leaders, semi-skilled, and your general workers, unskilled labor rate. And remember to use the same units. If you're using per day, use per day, and you'll be home and dry. Then your plant allowable, this is very straightforward because most plant suppliers, they normally you get a higher rate for a day. And unless if it's a wet rate, then you ignore fuel. But normally in the industry, all plant is dry rate and then you buy your own diesel. The fuel allowable, you go to the nearest garage and then you find how much fuel is currently. I think it's about 13 Rand or something. And then obviously you always need to allow for transport because your material is not on site. You need to get it from your supplier, bring it there, and then some of the components you need to transport them to get them on site. That's where the transport component comes in. And then your markup, I'll go into more detail about your markup in my next video so that I break it down nicely for you and then you understand what it's about. So I'm just going to use a 12.5% markup for us to get us going. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to give you an example for paving. This is basically how it's going to look like. It's some road construction that I did in 2015, and it's going to assist you into getting into grips of everything that I'm showing you now. So your steps to a solid price unit rate, you get your nearest suppliers to send you formal material quotations, get your plant suppliers to send you formal plant quotations, get labor rates like I said, and then you gather all costs, add them to find a total, and then you apply your markup. It's an art, remember, so some guys may put a markup of 20%, 25%, some 100%, and but most contractors, they can even apply a markup of 8%, depending on what you want. So it's not an exact science. Price is price. Whatever you charge, some people charge 50 Rand per square meter for paving, and some people charge 250 Rand. So finally, you make sure that you convert your rate to the unit BOQ item. So if your paving is in square meters, you charge per square meter as per BOQ. So let's go straight into the example because I think our 10 minutes will be gone now. All right, guys. So this is very, very important. This is very, very important. So steps to a solid price for a unit rate. Okay, step one, you get your nearest suppliers to send you a formal quote. Formal materials quote. Remember, you send them as your specification, and then the salesperson will send you back a formal quote. And then you choose the lowest among your suppliers. Okay, step two, you get your plant suppliers to also send you formal quotes for plant, and then you choose the lowest rate, and then you'll see in the small video that I did an example of how you actually go about the pricing on Excel. Subscribe to my channel, and then as well as have a look at the video that I've done an example on Excel. So the next thing is you get labor rates. Most of you know how to get labor rates from SAFSEC or wherever, depending on the type and location of your project. And then after doing that, you gather all your costs and then add them to find a total. Normally, this total will be the total cost per day for everything. Now you have to actually work back to get the rate per unit item as per your BOQ. And then lastly, you then apply your markup. Remember, it's an art, so you can apply any markup from 2.5% going upwards, depending on whether your construction market has got a lot of jobs or not. And then obviously you make sure that the rate that you converted is exactly as per BOQ item. Units are extremely important. So you can use Excel, Candy, or some other fancy software that you have. Nowadays, you've got plenty of apps that can do it for you. But the basic foundational principles are the ones that I've just presented to you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a look at the example that I've as well posted on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy your evening.
Whoa.